Hilchos Shekalim Perek Shlishi, the laws of the half shekel coin, chapter 3. The issue of the first half of the chapter today is known as the kolbon. Kolbon is a kolbon. It seems like it's a Greek word that's made up of two words. Kal means something light. Bon means between. And essentially, what it is people wanted half shekel coins to give to the Holy Temple. So imagine if all the Jewish people need a half shekel coin at once. So now the half shekel coins are in high demand. So essentially, the coin becomes worth more than its own value. So when you got a half shekel coin from the bank, you had to pay a little bit to cover that rise in fee. Kol bon means kal, it's something light. Bain, that's between the actual value of the half shekel coin and the new value because of the high demand. That's how the Rambam seems to define it right here in the beginning of the chapter. And he talks about which people have to give a kol bon, have to pay that fee in addition to paying their half shekel coin, and which people don't. The concept of the kol bon here in the Rambam is discussed at length by the commentaries because the Rambam seems to give some contradictory halachot when it comes to this. So we'll do our best to understand the Rambam as clearly as we can. Says the Rambam, halacha aleph, chatzoyei hashkolim, the half shekel coins, hakol tzrichin lahen. Everybody needs them. Kedei sheyitin kol echad ve'echad chatzi shekel shehu chayav. So that every person can give the half shekel coin, which he's obligated to give. And according to the understanding of many commentaries, including the Rebbe, he understood that the Rambam means that you have to give actually a half shekel coin. Ideally, you're not supposed to give, a bunch of nickels and dimes that equal to $50. You're supposed to give a $50 coin. You're supposed to give a half shekel coin. So therefore, that made these coins in high demand. Lefichach, therefore, when a person used to go to the money changer, shekel and he wants to exchange 1 shekel coin for 2 halves, yitin loy toisves ala shekel. So the law is, and the commentaries argue if this is rabbinic or maybe even biblical, you have to give an addition, another fee, besides the shekel. Ve'oisa hatoisves nikras kolboin. And that addition is called the kolboin. Kal, something light, bon, in between, again, the actual value and the increased value. Lefichach, therefore, shnayim shenosnu shekel al shneim, if 2 people gave a shekel on behalf of them both, chayavin bakolboin, they are still obligated to give the kolboin. So again, they didn't do the ideal case, that's why it says shnayim shenosnu, if they gave, after the fact. 2 people come to the money changer, and they give him 1 shekel. So you would think that you don't have to pay a fee, right? Because you're not asking for half shekel coins in exchange. But the Rebbe explains, and the commentaries also talk about this, the money changer would have to give 2 half shekel coins to the temple. Even if they got a shekel from you, they would have to exchange it and give 2 halves to the temple treasury. So in the end of the day, there was some more half shekel coins being lost from the bank, and therefore you had to pay the fee by giving a kolbon for that shekel. Why don't you have to give 2? Each person is giving a half shekel coin. So again, it seems like from the commentaries that it's for every change of money, you have to give that fee. Here you're giving the shekel, there's only going to be 1 change of money happening. The bank is going to give to the temple treasury an exchange. At that 1 exchange, you have to pay a kolbon one fee. Beis, kol mi she'enei chayav b'shkolim, anybody who doesn't have to give the half shekel coin, like 2 women or 2 slaves who gave together a shekel to the temple treasury, peturim min hakolboin, they are exempt from giving this fee. And here we can explain based on the logic that I said before. The obligation is to give a half shekel coin. So the bank would only transfer your shekel into 2 half shekel coins if you were obligated to give the half shekel coin. But if you're a woman or a slave, you don't have the obligation to give a half shekel coin, the actual half shekel coin. So why would they spend high demand coins on you? So 2 women gave them a shekel, just pass on the shekel. There's no need to lose more half shekel coins, and since more half shekel coins aren't being lost, they don't have to pay the extra fee of the kolboin. Here it gets a little more novel. If one person was obligated and one person was not. And the person that's obligated is giving a shekel on behalf of both him and the person who's exempt. For example, shekel, a man comes and he gives 1 shekel for him and for his wife, let's say, or for him and for his slave. So half of the shekel is obligated, half of the shekel is not. So here, since somebody in the game is not obligated in the half shekel, no need to pay the fee. The koyanim also are exempt from this fee. Just like yesterday, we saw they were exempt from being forced. You take collateral from every Jew except from the koyanim to keep the peace. They can get very, very easily angered. So the Kesef Mishnah says, for the same reason, we don't charge them this fee. Just keep any extra issues out of the Kohen's way. Let him pay his half shekel kohen, that's it. It goes so far that if I give a half shekel on your behalf, we have 2 kohenim here today. If I give a shekel coin on behalf of me and behalf of the kohen, I don't have to pay the kohen, I don't have to pay the fee. Gimel, hanoisin shekel olav, va'al ha'ani, oyal shchenoi, oyal ben iroi. If you give a shekel to cover yourself and to cover a poor person who doesn't have money, or to cover your neighbor, or to cover another member of your city. Im nosne lahem matana. If you're giving a gift, I go over to Amnon and I say, listen, you don't have to deal with the half shekel coin this year. I'm taking care of you. It's my present. My present to you, I'm going to cover your half shekel. Potter min hakolboin. So then, I don't have to pay the fee. Why? Shaharei nosan chatzi shekel matana kedila harbes bishkolim. Because I'm doing something nice. I'm giving an extra half shekel to the bank to increase the temple treasury. So the commentaries say we look at it as midat chasidut. You're being pious. So if you're being pious and paying an extra half shekel anyways, we're not going to charge you the extra fee. But if I'm covering for my neighbor or for my friend, not as a gift, but as a loan, saying, look, you don't have the half shekel right now. I get it. I'll cover for you, but I want you to pay me back. So now I'm not being anything pious. I'm just covering for a friend who doesn't have money right now at the moment, but he's going to have to pay me back later. So then, says the Rambam, chayav bakolbain. You're obligated in the fee. You aren't doing anything extra special. You're classically giving a shekel to the temple treasury. They're going to have to exchange it into 2 half shekel coins. They're going to lose that high demand coin. You have to pay the fee. Dalid ha'achin sha'adayin lo yicholku ma she'iniach lehem aviyam. If you have 2 brothers, their father passed away, and they haven't yet divided the estate. So they're really like one person. V'chein ha'shutfim shenasnu shekel al yedei shneim. Or 2 partners. In halacha, when 2 partners own property jointly, they literally become like one unit. So if they're giving a shekel for that on behalf of them both, peturin min hakolbain, both the brothers and the partners are exempt from paying the fee because we literally treat them like one person. And so, in a way, you can look at it as only 1 half shekel coin is going to be lost here, and they gave a full shekel, so that covers the fee. They don't have to pay a new fee. When are we talking about? What kind of partners are we talking about? Partners that already spent, they already did business with the partnered money. And the pot, which they originally contributed their original money to, has already been changed because that money has been used in an investment. But if they haven't actually done anything in partnership, they only created a pot. I brought $10,000 to the table, you brought $10,000 to the table, and we put it both in a pot, but we haven't actually done anything with it. The money hasn't changed, they haven't spent the money. Then they're obligated in the fee, because we treat them like 2 separate people. They haven't actually done anything to show that they're partners, and therefore, when 2 people give 1 shekel on behalf of them both, you have to give the fee. Nosu v'nosnu, ve'achar zman cholku, ve'chazru v'nishtatfu. What if each guy brought 10K to the table, they made a shared investment, so they became partners. Then they made profit, and they split up the money. 20K for me, 20K for you. Ve'chazru v'nishtatfu. Then we went back and put our money in the pot. So if you look at the story as starting today, so today I put 20K and you put 20K and we're not actual partners. But if you look at the whole history, we did at one point in time our money did mix. So which one do we look at? It says that I'm chayavin b'kolbay. No, we look at it as what happened right now. All they did is mix the money in the pot. The money hasn't changed. The new money, So they're like two separate people, they're obligated to give the fee. Ad sheyisu v'yitnu b'shutfu zu ha'acharayna, till they do business with the second or final partnership, the yishtanu hamois, and the money actually undergoes a change through investment. Hey, ha'achin v'hashutvin shehaya lehen behema uksafim. What if brothers or partners had both livestock and cash? V'cholku b'ksafim. And all they split was the cash. They haven't split the livestock yet. Doesn't matter. That split is already enough to make them two separate entities. Chayavim b'kolbain, afal pisha adayin lecholku habehema. They're obligated to pay the fee, even though they haven't yet split the animals. Because the cash, which they're paying right now, they have already split. So they're two separate people. But if all they split was the animals, they didn't split the cash, they're exempt from paying the fee until they divide the cash. We don't say, may as well consider the cash divided because it's going to be divided anyways. They already divided the animals. No, as long as the cash is still together, they're like one entity and they don't have to pay the fee. Interesting law. You give a shekel to the bank, but you're not covering for anybody else. You simply want change. They are going to pay on your behalf the half shekel coin which you're obligated. And you want to take back a half shekel coin that was already gotten from other people. So here, even though technically it's like the same case as before, because the bank is going to lose two half shekel coins. Before it was both of them going to the temple. Here it's one going to the temple, one going to you. Here we're more strict. Chayav shnei kolbainos. You have to pay two fees. One for the half shekel coin which you're taking, and one for the half shekel coin which you're giving to the temple. She'ilu haya hashekel kuli l'shkalim haya chayav kolbain echad. Had the entire shekel went towards the funds of the half shekel coins, in other words, towards the temple, you'll be obligated to one fee. Now that you're going two ways, to the temple and to you have to pay two fees. And the commentaries say it looks like not because there's a logical explanation necessarily, but because every time you make an exchange with the temple bank, you have to pay a fee. So there's one exchange going from the bank to the Bet HaMikdash to the bank.
To whom you pay a fee?
To the bank. The people that have all the half shekel coins. So since there's one exchange happening from the bank to the temple and one from the bank to you, you have to pay a fee for each one. Zayin. Kama hu shir kolben. Okay, how much is this fee? Says the Rambam, I'm going to give you the minimum fee, and then you're going to have to apply it to higher currencies. At the time when they used to give 2 dinar for a half shekel. Remember this chart from Friday or from Shabbos? 1 sela, that's a sela coin, equals 4 dinar. So when the common currency was a sela, the half shekel was 2 dinar. This was the most common period, I guess, during the Second Temple or during the time when the Talmud was made. Sela was a common currency, 2 dinar was the half shekel. Says the Rambam, at this time, the fee was a half a ma'ah, shehi echad mishnei masar b'dinar, which is 1/12 of a dinar, because a dinar is 6 ma'ah. Half a ma'ah was the kolbon.
Seems arbitrary.
So, essentially the way to look at it is, it's 1/24 of the half shekel. Whatever the half shekel is, 1/24 of that was the fee. So if it rose, you find out what the half shekel fee is, and it's a 1/24 of that. But it could never be less than this. Never was the fee paid at a price less than the half a ma'ah, the half of the 6 coin on the bottom there. Says the Rambam, the fee that was paid was not treated like the half shekel coin. We're going to see tomorrow what was done with all these half shekel coins. Yeah, it went for different sacrifices, serving public needs. These fee monies, these small money, it was not treated like that. The money changers would keep them on their own, separate, till when time was seized fit, the temple treasury would make use of it. In the Talmud, there's actually 5 opinions what was done with the kolban, and the commentaries discuss why the Rambam chose this one. That's why he says you leave it on the side till the temple treasury decided to use it. Now let's learn some more laws about the half shekel coin. Somebody lost his half shekel. He set aside the money, then he lost it. Chayav b'achrayusa. You're obligated to replace it. Ad she'imserenu lagizbar, till you hand it over to the treasurer. If the treasurer loses it, that's his fault. But if you lost it before you gave it, you got to find another one and give it again. B'nei ha'ir sheshalchu es shiklein biyad shliach. Let's say Sherman Oaks got together, we all put our half shekel coins in a bag, and we gave it to Philip, who's traveling to Israel. He's going to take all of our half shekel coins to the temple. V'nignevu avdu. On the way, the bag of the Sherman Oaks half shekel coins gets stolen or lost. What do we do? So it depends what kind of a watchman Philip became. In the 13th book of the Rambam, we're going to learn that there are different types of watchmen. And I'll just talk about two of them that are relevant. Shomer Chinam and Shomer Sachar. Shomer Chinam is an unpaid watchman. You give him a deposit to hold for you, but you're not paying him for it. Shomer Sachar is somebody who you're giving him and you are paying him for it. The classic difference between Shomer Chinam and Shomer Sachar is whether he is obligated to cover theft or loss. A Shomer Chinam, if I give you my watch, and I don't pay you, and you lose my watch, all you have to do is swear to me that you weren't negligent, and you don't have to pay me back. But if I'm paying you for the watching, then if you lose my stuff or it gets stolen from you, you have to cover it. So with that in mind, let's learn the Rambam over here. We sent our half shekels with you. You lost them. They were stolen. Exactly. So im shomer chinam hu, if you are an unpaid watchman, hareza nishba lahem beniftar, all you have to do is swear to us. I swear, I wasn't negligent. I didn't put the bag in the top, the overhead bin in the plane, and someone just stole it. No, I had it with me the whole time, and someone stole it from me. I swear I wasn't negligent. And then you're exempt. Kedin kol shomer chinam, like any unpaid watchman. The hein chayzer and v'noisen in Sheklei and Pam Shnia and us in Sherman Oaks have to pay our half shekel again. It's not his fault. The im amru anshi ha'ir. What if the city people say, you know what? Making an oath is not so simple. You say God's name, you avoid it if you can. So we say, you know what? We all trust Philip. Hoyil v'anu mishalmin shkalenu. Since anyway we have to pay again the half shekel coin, ein ritzaynenu she'yishav hashliach. We don't want to make Philip pay extra money. Swear again. Shehu ne'eman lanu, because we believe him. He's trustworthy by us. We don't want to make him swear. Doesn't matter. Ein shomer. This is the one case where we don't listen to him. Typically, if I say, I trust you, you don't have to swear, you don't have to swear. But here, because we're dealing with holy money, hekdesh, we have a special rule. Lefisha takanas chachamimi, it's the enactment of the sages. She'ein hekdesh yotze b'lei shvua. Holy money never transfers hands unless there's an oath. So here he lost the holy shekels. He's got to make an oath before we give it again.
It's like a signature on a policy. They're not going to accept it without a signature.
There you go. Nimtzu hashkolim harishainim. Achar shenish b'hashliach. What if Philip swears, and then we find the original bag? It was lost. He promises he wasn't negligent, and taka, we find it. But we already paid again. So what do we do? Elu va'elu shkalim him. The Rambam says both have to be treated as half shekel coins. They're both holy. Ve'ein oilin lahem l'shana acheres. But we cannot use them next year. Rather, v'harishonim yiplu l'shekel hashana, v'ha'achareinim yiplu l'shekel shana sha'avra. The first ones go for this year. The second ones go to the box for last year. They're not usable. Remember yesterday we learned that they had 13 boxes in the temple. One said this year, one said last year. So in this case of the confused shekels, you just give the second ones to the last year's shekels. Now which one is called first, which one is called second? The Rambam will tell us in a second that there's an argument about this. Tes. Shalchu es shikleim biyad shomer sachar. What if Philip was not an unpaid watchman, he was a paid watchman? So he's responsible for theft and loss. Shariu chayav b'gneva v'aveda. He's liable when things are stolen or things are lost. But let's say you lost them, not because you just lost them. You lost them in a way beyond your control. Armed robbers came, held him up at gunpoint, and said, give us the half shekels or else. Even a paid watchman doesn't have to replace or doesn't have to do a compensation if something got lost, the ones, in a way beyond his control. So the Rambam says, Shu Potter, monetarily he'd be exempt. Rayin, so now we have to see. When did he have this mugging? When did they hold him up at gunpoint and say, give us the shekels? Im achar shenisrima hatruma nenas, if he was held up after they already separated the money in Israel. Remember yesterday we saw this whole process of the 3 boxes to the 3 sacks, and when the Kohen would do this, he would have in mind anybody who was going to bring shekels in the future. So if he had already transferred the money from the big box to the small box, nishba hashliach lagizbarim. So all Philip has to do is swear to the temple treasurers, uvenei ha'ir peturin, and us in Sherman Oaks are exempt. Because the person who separated the coins had in mind the money that came in and the money that was going to come in. So therefore, by the time you were mugged, the coins were already considered to be in the possession of hektish, of the temple treasury. And the city people, what could we have done? Nothing. All we did was give it to a paid watchman. Yeah, for theft and loss, you would have to cover it. But beyond your control, accidents are not commonplace. So you swear to the temple treasurer, this is what happened, and you're good. But if we find out that the mugging happened before this guy separated the shekels, so the coins weren't yet in the possession of hektish, they are still considered to be in our possession of the people of the city. So Philip, who is our agent, swears to us, and we have to pay again. What happens if the same circumstance repeated itself? You swore, we did a second collection, and the robbers come back, they wanted to do tshuva, they give us back our coins. Both coins are going to be holy, half shekel coins. They don't count for next year. Instead, the second ones go to last year's shekel. Now, what's called first? What's called second? It says that Rambam yesh misha emer. There is somebody who says, the first shekels that go to this year's coins are They are the actual first ones, the ones that were separated first, before they were stolen or lost or subject to an accident. There's another opinion that says, first means the ones that reach the temple first. So that'll actually be the second one. The one that we separated second, reach the temple first, that's called first. Those go to this year's, and the second ones go to last year's. Not such a nice guy. I give a half shekel coin to my friend. I say, go to the line and put in my half coin for me. Meanwhile, you go and give it for yourself. This is my coin, not your friend's coin. Because you don't want them to forcefully take collateral from you. You have a half shekel, you give it for yourself. If by this time the guy in the temple had already taken the coins from the box to the sacks, that means that at that time it was already in the possession of hektish, of temple treasury. Not only did you do a sin of stealing from your friend, ma'al hashaykel, the one who gave the half shekel coin actually committed me'ilah, which is sacrilege. You misused holy funds. Shazeh hashekel b'shus hektishu, because the half shekel coin was already considered to be in the possession of hektish. Shekvar tarmala asid ligavos, because they already removed some of the coins, having in mind all the coins which are going to come in the future. So you saved yourself with holy money, derived benefit from this shekel. That's very bad. But if by the time you misused your friend's half shekel coin, the truma, the separation hadn't been done yet, you haven't committed me'ilah, you haven't committed sacrilege. Of course, you have to replace. I have to pay you back the half shekel coin, but I haven't committed me'ilah. Similarly, if I rob or steal a half shekel coin from my friend and I use it for me, I have fulfilled my obligation, and I have to pay you back double or to add a fifth as the laws go. When I steal from you in secret, I have to pay you back kefil, double. If I steal from you in broad daylight, when I return I have to give you an extra fifth, etc. Yud Aleph. If I had in my possession holy funds, they're already holy funds. Let's say I committed them to buy a korban or something like that. And instead I used those holy funds to pay my half shekel coin. And in fact, it made it into the treasury, and they took it out and put it in the sack, so they're actually going to use it for holy sacrifices. The moment that they use it, I am going to become liable for committing me'ilah, for committing sacrilege. But I have fulfilled the obligation of giving the half shekel coin. if I gave the money from Maaser Sheni money, remember this chart, whenever you have produce, 2% to the Kohen, 10% to the Levi, another 10% has to go to Jerusalem. It's considered to be holy. You can eat it. You have to eat it, as a matter of fact, in Jerusalem, but it's holy. So here, you have in your possession money of Maaser Sheni, and instead you use that money and gave it to the temple for half shekel coin. Yoichal kenegdei b'Yerushalayim. What you should do is, you should eat something equal to that value in Jerusalem. We're going to see in the 7th book of the Rambam that Maaser Sheni can be transferred. The holiness can be transferred from one money to the other. So you already gave your half shekel coin. So all you have to say is, wherever that half shekel coin is, I want to transfer it to this half shekel coin here, and then you go buy some food in Jerusalem and eat it. Midmei Shvi'is, yoichal kenegdei b'kedusha Shvi'is. Same thing if you gave from Shemitah money. You have a fruit that grew during Shemitah. You can't benefit from it. Let's say you did. You sold it. You made money off of it. That money is called Shvi'it money. It's Shemitah money. So what you have to do is, you have to eat it and treat it as Shemitah fruit. But instead I gave the money as a half shekel coin. So I transfer the holiness back to the money in my wallet, and I treat it as Shvi'it, as holy Shemitah food. If I took the money from a city which was persuaded to serve idols, they have to all really die, so the money isn't considered to be of any value. I haven't done anything, and I'm not considered to have given my half shekel coin. Good base. I separate money for the half shekel coin, thinking that I still have to give it. And then I remember, I already gave it 2 weeks ago. I'm not obligated. Loy Kadash. The second money hasn't even become holy, it was a mistake. I separated 2 half shekel coins, because I thought that I didn't give last year. So I have to cover for last year and this year. And it turns out I'm only obligated once. No, I already gave last year. If I put away the 2 half shekel coins, one after another, the first one is holy, but the second one was given by mistake. It's not holy at all. If I put them both down at once, the first one we treat as a half shekel coin, and the second one we treat as leftover from half shekel money, which the commentaries argue here if that means that it goes to the donation. Remember, there was a bunch of boxes that went to donations, nedava, and they would just bring burnt offerings whenever there was nothing going on in the temple. Or some say that it's actually chulin, it's totally unholy money. The difference between this case and last case is that in this case you get to choose. In the last case, when you gave one after another, the first one is holy, second one is not holy. In this case, Rambam says ha'echad. One of them is considered to be holy, and one of them is not. You can choose which one. Hifri shiklei v'meis yipei lindava. Unfortunately, a guy puts away his half shekel coin, doesn't have a chance to give it to the temple before he dies. So the money just goes to nedava, to the temple treasury donations, and they would bring animals whenever there was not a busy day in the temple. Yud Gimel halekeach ma'is biyadei. A person picks up a bunch of coins in his hand, and he says, Elu l'shikli. I'm going to transfer these into a half shekel coin. Because you have to give an actual half shekel coin. You have a bunch of coins and you're going to exchange it. Or you were just picking out coins one at a time. When you began to collect, you said, I'm collecting money for my half shekel coin. Even if you ended up gathering or picking up enough to fill a whole pouch, all you have to do is give the half shekel coin that you're obligated in, the hashar chulin, and the rest is unholy money. Because anything left over in addition to the shekel is considered to be unholy, totally mundane. Yudalit. Remember, there was 13 boxes in the temple. If you find a coin between the shekel box and a donation box, karev lishkalim yiplu lishkalim, karev lindava yiplu lindava. You go whatever it's closer to. Where's the coin? Near the shekel box, it goes to the shekel box. Near the donation box, donation box. Mechza lemechza, if it's half, exactly halfway, mechza al mechza, yiplu lindava. We go to the donation box. Because everything in the donation box is going to become a burnt offering, which totally goes to God, to the fire. The hashkalim mistapkin mihen la'oles v'lidvarim acherim. Whereas the half shekel coins are used, as we'll see tomorrow, for burnt offerings and for other things. So we go to the more stringent way of totally burnt offerings. Any money found between any of these 13 boxes, by default it goes to the closest one. If it's half, so it depends where it is. If it's between boxes 5 and 6, the wood for the firewood and the frankincense, they go to the frankincense. Why? Because frankincense was given as a sacrifice. It was offered on the Mizbeach. Firewood is only what's called machshirei korban. It's an accessory to the sacrifice that helped burn the sacrifice, but it wasn't an actual sacrifice. Ben kinim legais le'oila, between boxes 3 and 4, pairs of birds, and the birds that were only brought as a burnt offering, yiplu legais le'oila. If they're half-half, you go to this one, because all of the money in this box went to complete burnt offerings. In this box, there was pairs of birds. One was a burnt offering, one was a chatat that was half eaten by the Kohen. Zeh haklal, this is the general principle. We always go after the closer box, but when it's half-half, we go to the more stringent box. Any money which you find on the temple mount, chulin, is called mundane. It's not holy. It's not holy at all. There was a chazakah, a presumption, that a temple treasurer would never spend money from money that came in to the chamber of the Shekalim, before he transfers the holiness of the money to the animals which he's using for a sacrifice. So there is no more inherent holiness in the money, and therefore if you find money on the temple mount, it's considered to be chulin, mundane, and you can use it for whatever you want.